Good morning, everybody. How you guys doing out there? Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning, my love. Good morning. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, I keep forgetting. You guys changed your clocks back in Britain already.
We did, yeah. Yesterday, about 2 in the morning, which I
Oh,
kind of forgot about, and I was like, shit. But on the plus side, we're an hour closer together.
for now, because on Halloween night we have to jump our clocks back. So
Damn it.
I'm like, only a week?
Uh-huh.
Shoot. Y'all need 5 hours difference. I mean, that's so much nicer. 1 hour does make a hell of a lot of difference. I don't know why.
Yeah, it completely threw me this morning. I was like, what time is it? What are we
Yeah,
doing?
right? What time? What planet is this? Is this Monday? Oh, God. And it is. It's freaking Monday.
It is such a Monday. Absolutely.
I hope everybody out there had a good weekend, though. Did you have a good weekend?
Busy, just catching up with lots of little, chores, jobs, that kind of thing. How about you, sweetheart?
Yeah. Same. Catching up with chores. And, of course, we had movie night with Loki.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fun. I got to see The Thing for the first time. Oh, my gosh. What a great movie.
You enjoyed it?
Definitely going to watch again. I loved it.
Oh, hell yeah.
It was so gross. I'm like, that is a Halloween film. Definitely. I had a blast. It was so much fun. Of course, they're always a blast.
They are. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And had a hell of a show this morning. Big thank you to us for joining Loki.
Yeah, oh my God. I love him so much. He is just the absolute best. What a sweet guy. He's just amazing. I was a little worried about that for a second when he started going off on politics. I'm like, no! Oh, well, this is going to be funny as hell. And it was. So I was grateful. So should we see who's joining us in our chat today and say good morning?
So. Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see. Lord Thoth was first. Good morning, Lord Thoth. Teleroth A is here. Captain Trek. Good morning, Cap. I hope you're caffeinated. Derek McManus is here. Good afternoon. How's your mom? Gotta ask. It's a Gary thing, I know, but I gotta ask. Kathleen is with us just about all the time, so we gotta check in. Let's see. Colin P. Smith, Darth Hester. Our wrenches are here. Who else is hanging out with us, babe?
Let's have a look. Let me scroll down. We have got Jester Sin. Hello, sweetheart. Mr. Hyde. Good morning to you. James Andrew Morrison. Good afternoon. Keep scrolling so we don't miss anyone.
I'm doing the same.
Oh, Mark the Infinitely Tired. I didn't say it earlier, so posh. Still funny.
It was too busy in the chat. I was like, is she going to say it?
I saw it and then we went off on another tangent, so I was like, damn it.
Like,
and States Manuel, best way to find us is type in Rise and Shine. That should automatically fill in with the Valkyries.
Yep. Mary's Game Room is here. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Mary.
And Chris.
Chris and Clobbering Times. Hello, sweetheart.
Hello, Clobbering Times.
We've got a great group of people today.
Naughty Monkey of Wrath.
Yep, Naughty Monkey. Hey.
Oh my God. Yeah, 2 snorts. It's going to be a snort kind of day because my sinuses are driving me batshit crazy.
Oh, dear.
But there's really not much to snort at in these episodes that we've got to talk about coming up because one's the season finale.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I said maybe when I put the description together. It's like, not maybe we're going to do season 3. We're definitely doing season 3. Just maybe talking about the first episode of season 3. We weren't sure how it was going to run, but we are going to definitely close out season 2 and maybe, because, it was good shit.
Oh, it was. That was a good finale to a really great, strong season. And both seasons so far have been pretty much consistent. But I think, like we said, with the start of the third season and the end of the second season, they tie in very closely. There isn't that kind of time jump that 1 and 2 had.
Not really, no. We don't get a time jump until, I think, a little bit later in season 3, like midway through, we get a bit of a time jump. But it's not, hugely significant. But then again, I turned it on yesterday because the weather was so lousy. I turned it on yesterday and just let the whole seasons run, and it was like, oh my God, season 3 is going to get even better. So stay tuned, y'all. Shit. God damn it. I thought I turned my phone off. I did not. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So it's off now. Every time, man. It's like, shit, you guys can guarantee I don't turn off my freaking phone. Hey, Psycho Dwarf 9.
Hey, Psycho Dwarf.
How's it going? Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. Snortle. Yeah, Dave G. I'm pretty sure Darth Haster's got the snortometer going, so.
Tell her off, professionals. We're a well-oiled machine. We've said it before.
We are indeed. Extremely well-oiled. It's at this point, I'd rather be lubricated. It would keep me warm.
Yeah, I'm freezing.
It's cold today, guys. It's cold in Texas.
Anyway, shall we jump into the finale of season 2, which is The Lord's Prayer?
Yes. Oh my gosh. This episode. Oh my God. He's right now. Ragnar is still Earl. Mm-hmm. Thank heaven. And he's allied with King Horik. Oh my God, I'm completely brain farting the entire freaking episode. Holy shit.
Well, it starts off with Horik's wife and children arriving in Catacut.
Yes.
And he's got quite the family.
I was gonna say, how many boats do you need? Holy shit! It's like you brought his whole friggin' village. Nope, that's just his family. Holy hell!
It's just his wife and kids. Mm-hmm. And I do mean wife, because he's only got the one. It used to me thinking he's got multiple wives with all these kids.
Yeah, and then not to mention the servants and all of that. And it was just like, holy fracking what? Are you serious? They kept just coming off the boat. Holy hell.
I did like the lady that played his wife, Queen Grunhild. She was very kind of austere, very no nonsense.
Yeah,
very similar to Lagertha in a lot of ways. I think that's why they sort of clicked.
They did, and it was just like you're an earl in your own right. And Lagertha's, I killed my husband when he invaded me, and I was like, yeah, that was a good one. Okay,
just clinked glasses and laughed about it. I was like, yeah.
And of course, we have our ever-present Floki.
Yes, Floki living up to the god he's sort of named after and hinted at that he's a descendant of.
Yeah,
Floki is just all over the place in this episode. He pops up everywhere, and he's always
like you turn around and there he is. It's like, holy Christ!
It's like, God damn it! And he's being a little bit weird. He's not being the Floki that we've known up until now.
No.
He seems to be getting very, very jealous of Ragnar. He doesn't like the accolades that Ragnar's getting. He doesn't like, and he hates that Athelstan's back.
Oh, well, we all know from season 1 that he hated Athelstan to begin with. He never trusted him. He was convinced that, Athelstan was going to talk everybody into this Christian god and, not being faithful to Thor and Odin, Freya, etc. And I love it when he's, shit-faced drunk and confronts Athelstan, and Athelstan's just like, dude!
Yes! He kind of tries to brush him aside because Floki's so drunk and confrontational with him, and he tells him nobody wants him in Kattegat and that it's his fault Rollo's going to die, and he really kind of tries to drive that point home to him, and Athelstan's like, the hell?
And he actually jumps too. He's like, the fuck? And he tries to, I see him move to one side and trying to get away from Floki, but, God bless Gustav for playing this role so well. He just sort of, fluidly shifts his body and it's just like, nope, you're not going anywhere until I say my drunken piece, you crazy Christian. No.
And that was one hell of a party that they were at, because Athelstan's visions are back.
Yep, Athelstan's drunk and having visions, and it's just like, oh crap. Or did he eat a mushroom? I can't remember. But he's definitely under the influence of something.
Well, it's got to be a good party when you see your Lord and Savior appear. So,
yep, that's never a bad day. That classifies as a good party, I think. But poor Athelstan and Floki, they're like oil and water. Those two, it's just nothing is nope. But King Horik has a moment with Floki where, he had approached him previously to kind of switch sides on Ragnar and kind of do some inside jobs, if you will.
Yes. He's trying to get Floki to not only prove his loyalty to him, but to kind of do his dirty work for him as well.
Very much so. And in order for him to prove himself, because King Horik says to Floki flat out, I don't trust you. Duh.
And in other news, water is wet. Yes.
Yeah. This just in. Duh. Floki's got to kill somebody. And somebody important. So we get shots of Floki, he goes up and he's gathering mushrooms, and we see him go to Rollo, who's bedridden at this point, right? And feed him the mushrooms, and I'm like, holy shit, he's gonna off freaking Rollo. Oh my god. No.
The first time I saw that episode, I panicked. I was like, no.
Yeah, you can't off Rollo.
Don't do it.
But sneaky little Floki also sends them to Torsten, who I love. I just love that character. And he sends him through, I think it's Uber.
Yes.
And has a nasty little exchange with Uber, which is a little bit of a foreshadowing for later. You guys will see it once it finally comes up.
I think that scene as well kind of cements in the audience's mind just how devious Floki can actually be. If he's willing to use a child to do his dirty work.
Yeah.
In turn, he's doing the dirty work of King Horik.
And threatening the poor little guy. I'm just like, oh my god. To tell him that nasty story of Loki being tortured. Duh. That's the same thing that's going to happen to you. Holy shit. He's like 9.
And the child actor, he was so good. You could just see his eyes get really wide as he was telling me.
Yeah. Kudos to the kiddo. I mean, he did a great job selling it. I mean, that kid's definitely got a future. But, so he's, poor little Uba takes these mushrooms to Torsten, who is later found dead.
Yes.
And in the public square, swears vengeance to Bjorn for Torsten's murder.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh man, way to sell it, Gustav.
Yeah, he laid it on thick. What did he say?
Oh man.
He said he wanted whoever did it to be found and skinned and pulled apart by horses. It's like, damn.
Yep. I was like, son, you've got a condition. It's getting deep out here. I need some hip waders. Holy crap. Thank you for that. But I can't. Seeing Torsten, I'm like, no, you can't. Come on, he's got to have more story because I love the character. And I thought,
did.
well, wait a second. Loki really knows his mushrooms. He's not going to give Torsten, who's his best friend, basically, besides Ragnar, something that's going to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
There's something shady. And then, of course, the whole plan is to kill the entire family. Ragnar, Aslog, Largatha, all of their, and he says, I think, bastard children.
Yes.
And including Bjorn.
The entire bloodline.
Mm-hmm. Wiping it completely out. And he, King Horik, for whatever reason, approaches Siggy about killing somebody. Which I thought was kind of weird.
Considering that she tried to approach him the previous evening at the party and he just brushed her off coldly.
Oh, yeah. He was just like, yeah, no, hooker.
Yeah.
Get out of here. My wife is here. She don't need to be seeing that shit. And of course, like you said earlier, the queen, essentially King Horik's wife, is basically just as much of a shield maiden and warrior as Largatha.
Oh, yes.
So, which we find out. But tells her that if she murders the boys, then he'll make her queen as second wife. And I'm like, oh shit, that's diving big time home for Siggy, who never wanted to lose her title anyway. Yes. So
the one thing I will give Horik is he does know how to manipulate people. He knows what people want, and he'll go straight to the point.
Mm-hmm. Then we have a little kind of side story with Bjorn, who's dealing with his relationship issues with Porin. I'm like, this is kind of a weird side challenge, but okay.
Yes, I thought that was a little weird. It almost felt like they were kind of padding the episode. I know kind of why they did it, but it was a little bit forced, I felt.
Yeah. But I did have a lot of respect for her, though, once she challenges him to a fight to prove that he respects her. Now that she's free. Now that Aslog has freed her for being a slave, it's just like, wow. You go, girl. Good for you. Lady moment. Okay. Kind of woke a little bit, but not woke in they're beating us over the head with it.
No, it was nice to see her kind of realize her own worth and to see her kind of, for the first time in her life, she even says, I have choices now. And then Bjorn puts his foot in his mouth.
Yep, he's just like, oh, shit. I was like, good one, Bjorn. Way to step in that pile of horse crap.
It says something like, there are other women, and she's like, that's your first mistake. And his face just falls. It's like, whoops.
I was sitting there just going, ooh, burn. She just got your Viking ass. Okay. But they go to the woods and end up fighting, which, I mean, fisticuffs. It was a badass fight. I mean, Bjorn didn't hold back, and neither did she. They went at it. But, everybody kisses and makes up after a fight.
Yep. And as it cuts away, it looks like they're going at it again. Yes.
Yep. But in a different way. But in the woods, Floki is watching. Creepy.
He just pops up, doesn't he? He's everywhere in this episode.
Yep. So back in Kattegat, Horik shows the king's sword to his son and kind of informs him about what he plans to do. if one, he kind of says that if one member of the Lothbrok family survives, the day will come when they will rise again. He will rise again and destroy his family. And I'm like, damn, who peed in your cornflakes, buddy? I thought you guys were allies,
Yes, I think I did like Horik as a character, but I think that's his one weak point. He's too single-minded.
Yeah.
And obviously that's his big Achilles heel.
Yes.
His ambition.
Yes, very much so.
And he's not nearly as smart as he thinks he is.
Way smarter.
And it turns out so is Floki.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that Horik did tell Floki to do, and his actual mission, was to take care of Bjorn.
Mm-hmm.
And as we know, I don't think other than Ragnar, anyone loves Bjorn more than Floki.
And Floki adores Bjorn. Floki adores all the children, really, but Bjorn is his favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely. Ever since they met in the first episode, in the pilot, he's really attached to Bjorn.
Mm-hmm.
I could never figure out the reason why Athelstan taught Ragnar the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah.
The title of this episode.
Yes, that was a strange little aside. I'm guessing because Ragnar knows still that Athelstan's so conflicted about his Christian beliefs and his beliefs in obviously the Norse gods.
Mm-hmm.
So I would guess it's kind of Ragnar's way of kind of building a bridge between the two of them.
Yeah.
To kind of learn why this Christian religion is so important to him.
Mm-hmm.
And Ragnar's always willing to learn new things anyway. That's one of his big strengths.
Which is, I think, one of the big reasons Floki hates Athelstan so much. We cut back to Rollo, who is not dead, thank God. I was so relieved. He was just bedridden but unpoisoned. I was like, oh, so he gave him energy shrooms. Sweet.
Yes. He kind of
good on you, Floki. But poor Rollo is confronted by a couple of soldiers of King Horrocks. But being basically bedridden with his legs still healing, he's barely able to walk, but he kicks ass regardless. Mm-hmm. So whatever Floki gave him, awesome, thumbs up. I was so happy, honestly. I was so happy that Rollo wasn't dead. I was so relieved.
He's been through so much as a character, both for his own, stupidity and not trusting and his own ambition, but just through circumstance as well. Mm-hmm. He is a great character, and he's played so well.
Oh, he is. Clive Stanton is just amazing. And it's weird to hear him talk because he's English, and I'm like, oh, okay.
That's different.
Well, it's not like I didn't expect him to be English. I mean, his name is Clive, for crying out loud. That's not a name you hear very much in America. But, oh my God. He sounds so different. Because I've seen him, at the Comic-Cons and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Clive is just awesome as a human being. I'm just like, you just rule. Playing this character even makes it better. But slowly the King Horrocks men are invading Kattegat.
Yes, you got to think Kattegat's just a really sucky place to live, because every so often that it just gets decimated, and this time it wasn't even Ragnar's fault for not being there.
Right, because he's right there in the thick of it, But this is the point where I figured something was going on. Mm-hmm. Because there's no way Floki switched sides, because all of a sudden Largatha and her people are marching through town. not even engaging in everybody. But Athelstan, there's one scene where they're busting into a place. King Horik's men are busting into a place, and Athelstan is just like, deliver us from evil. And he axes like 2 guys that are twice his size. I'm like, holy shit, dude. Okay, so there is Viking in you after all.
Athelstan didn't need mushrooms.
Nope. He was fine. I'll word in a second. It's gonna be great. Largatha, meanwhile, not participating in the battles. You could see she's singular minded. She's got one thing she's supposed to do, and that's cut down Grunhild. And sure enough, that's one epic girl fight. Because Grunhild looks just as badass in her armor as Largatha does in hers. And I'm like, holy shit.
I'd say they were pretty evenly matched. I mean, Grunhild's a bit older than Largatha.
Yeah.
But that just means she's got more experience. But it was a great fight between these 2 actresses.
Oh, it was wonderful. It was well choreographed, well done. I mean, and neither of them pulled punches, really, but they put up a hell of an argument. I mean, God almighty. Yeah, like you said, they were quite evenly matched. But she's standing there after she kills Grunhild, and all of the daughters are kind of huddled and hiding. And I thought, oh my God, there's no way in hell that Largatha is going to kill these kids. But she just leaves.
Yes. And
she leaves one of her men behind, a couple of her men behind. And it's like, we never really know what happens to the rest of the children. King Horik later marches into the Earl's Hall. And everybody's there. With the exception of Rollo. I don't think he made it I don't remember seeing him in that scene. But seeing Floki, and I think King Horik said to him, "You've betrayed the gods." And Floki's like, "No, I only betrayed you." I was like, boom! There is hope for Floki after all. Okay, he was playing the game. So, on some level, Ragnar already knew this was coming. For some reason. I don't even know why. I can't remember.
Yes, I think he's just been watching Horik for a long, long time. You know, he's been watching the interactions that Floki's had with him. And I guess you can kind of assume that Floki's even not been giving him feedback as to what's going on, but he's certainly been making himself known that he's been fraternizing with Horik, and you know it's been out in the open. So to give that impression that Floki switched sides when he hasn't really.
Yeah, he never did in the first place. You know,
and Horik's so kind of single-minded. He thinks he's got him under his thumb.
Yeah, exactly. The scene that surprised me was Siggy when she appeared. And I was like, oh shit. Is she going to try to defend this Fargan ice hole? You know, King Horik? Nope. She hands Ragnar that knife that King Horik gave her and is just like, go for it. Everybody just bugs out. And King Horik has already been stabbed and he's been axed. And, you know, we're just waiting for the final blow.
Kind of walks the gauntlet, doesn't he, between all the characters, and they all kind of just have a swing at him.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking as I was watching this you know, battle. It was like, oh my God, holy shit, he's just walking the gauntlet. Okay, kind of reminded me a little bit of the Klingons when they go through their Age of Ascension. I was just like, oh shit. So is he gonna? Yep.
And the one character, obviously, that was there, who we didn't think was going to be there, was Torsten.
Yep. That was the look of shock on his face. Like, holy shit, weren't you dead like 20 minutes ago? Nope. Just stoned out of my gourd. There's Torsten just grinning. Ha la 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 la.
The mushrooms are worn off and he's just fine.
He's okay. Thank God.
But yeah, poor Horik, he's been axed, he's been knifed, and the last person that obviously he gets through is Ragnar himself.
Mm-hmm.
And my God, doesn't Ragnar go off on him?
Oh, Ragnar like totally lost his shit. You'd beaten the crap out of him with a stool and headbutting and just fisticuffs all over the place. And at one point, though, I do remember King Horik begging for the life of his son because Erlander was in the room with him. And I think Torsten grabbed a hold of him and kept him kind of at bay while Ragnar just sort of went off. And it was like, holy shit, are they actually going to leave this little fucker alive?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes, he's a slippery little character.
Oh, he's greasy. I didn't like him from the first moment we saw him when he appeared in Kattegat with his brother.
I like the brother much better.
I did too. He was much cuter. But kudos to the actor who plays him because he's selling it. He really did sell the words that Michael Hirst wrote. So good on him for looking slippery.
Yes, that's Edwin Endry, I think his name is.
Endry? Yeah.
Endry. Yeah. Just a really good character, bless him.
Yeah, we'll go with Endry. Prince Erlander. But the final shot of the episode, we see Ragnar perched on his little perch up on that cliff overlooking Kattegat with the king's sword and overlooking the new kingdom. And I'm like, damn. Wow. Okay. So he's gone from a farmer to a king in 2 seasons.
Not bad. Not bad.
Not half bad. And, I got to give the writer, Michael Hirst, so much credit because he's really growing these characters. He's really showing different depths. He really explored them in season 2 and didn't stop. He just kept going and going and going. It's the writing stayed clear and concise. Yeah. I was so thrilled.
The one thing that I was surprised about, especially as you get to kind of the middle of a season, you usually get at least one episode that's just filler or padding. And it didn't feel like it this season, or season 1, to be fair to them. He knew where he was taking the story and it flows really, really well.
Yes.
Even with new characters being introduced all the time.
So, are you ready to move on to season 3? Because there's no reason to stop at this point. So, it's season 3, episode 1, Mercenary. Starts the 3rd season of
Just before we
Vikings.
Start,
yeah,
we had a big spender earlier. Shall we grab that before we jump into?
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, I'm reading. We had a big spender. Oh my god. Looking for it. I found the first word skull, so there we go.
There we go.
Anonymous just tipped us $7. Ooh, lucky number 7. I love that number. Holy heck. All right, I got to get our goodie up here. Ready? Are you ready to hit it? All right, here we go.
Hey, big spender, spend a little time with me.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Anonymous. Anonymous tipped us $7. Did he or she leave us a message?
They did. Thank you, Anonymous. Anonymous says, keep up the great work and the amazing job you Valkyries do. Thank you, sweetheart.
Oh, thank you very much. That means a lot. We try to do good work here. Like I said, we are, like Purple said earlier, we are a well-oiled machine. We do know what we're doing most of the time. It's just Monday, and Mondays are rough, guys. Mondays are rough, but here we are. So thank you very much, Anonymous. Thank you. Wow. Okay. My Monday is complete. I got a hey ya Jojo and a $7 tip. I'm feeling pretty good. All right.
Colin makes a good point as well, just at the bottom here. He says, but if you didn't get the significance of the sword, which I didn't, that's all you get about Ragnar becoming king. Yeah, I fully agree with that. If you didn't kind of realise the importance of what that sword represents, it wouldn't really mean anything. It's just, oh, he's taken a sword. But because there isn't really anyone else to challenge him at the moment, we're left to assume, at least, that Ragnar has taken on the role as king.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then Colin makes another decent point just above that. So Horik is prepared to slaughter even the youngest of Ragnar's children, but begs for the life of his own adult son. Yeah, hypocrite. Big time.
Mhm.
Yeah. Ugh. That seems so stupid. But, here we are. We got to keep the story moving. So, there's a reason they left Erlander alive.
Mhm.
So, yeah. That closes out season 2. But we know for sure Ragnar is king. So, okay. He's king of more than Kattegat. He's king of the Vikings at this point.
Mhm.
So in the beginning of episode 1, season 3, Mercenary, Largatha goes to see the seer, who I love. That's John Kavanagh.
It is, yeah. One of my favourite characters. He plays it so well.
Oh, he really does. I saw a thing where they were talking about John Kavanagh's character at Comic-Con.
Mhm.
And they were talking to Gustav Skarsgård and George Blagden about the seer and how they get that poor guy and all that makeup around the set. And they actually have to lead him because he can barely see.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh my God, that's freaking commitment. Just to keep him from tripping over wires and make sure he gets to his proper set. They just have to, somebody's got to babysit the seer and make sure John doesn't get hurt.
John's wandered off again. Somebody go find him.
Make sure, But Largatha goes to see the seer and asks if she'll ever have more children. And he says no, basically.
Mhm.
But asks what he does see. And I've every time I see this episode, I see a harvest celebrated in blood. I see a trickster whose weapon cleaves you. I see a city made of marble and a burning and boiling ocean. Largatha, of course, is like, what the hell does that even mean? And the seer says something to the effect of, that's the thing with prophecies. You don't know that they've come true until they actually do.
Yes, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. And there's nothing you can do to change it. Yeah. And Largatha, bless her heart, just asks when she'll die. And the seer says, come back another day. Perhaps I'll tell you. And it's like, wow, that's a weird thing to ask the seer.
Yes. See, the seer is clearly very powerful and he does have the sight, but he's not very helpful at all.
No, he really isn't. But, he speaks in riddles. No shit. He's a friggin' seer, for crying out loud.
I think Aslog has been better at her predictions than he has. Or at least more useful.
A little bit more useful. Then we cut to a scene where Bjorn and Ragnar up on that perch that Ragnar loves so much, just chilling.
I'm going to call it Ragnar Rock from now on.
Yeah, Ragnar Rock. Ha! Sorry. I made it funny. My bad. But they're sitting there on the rock, and Ragnar wants to go back to Wessex and claim the land he was promised by King Egbert. Bjorn, on the other hand, nope. He wants to fight. He wants to raid. He wants to be Viking. And Ragnar asks him, what are we fighting for? And Bjorn just simply points and gestures down to Kattegat and just says that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, good point. Okay. You got me there, Bjorn. Okay, maybe you are a little more wiser than your years. Okay. And Ragnar asked him what he sees and power. The power of a king, replies Bjorn. Yes, I'm reading this, guys. Because there's some bits and pieces that I can't remember, so I have to jog my brain every now and then. I've watched these 1,000 times. So, it's like, and Ragnar warns against having too much power because it can corrupt. It attracts the worst and corrupts the best, says Ragnar. So they kind of leave it at that. And we cut to Hedeby, Largatha's lands. And Largatha's talking to Kalf, who I never trusted to begin with.
No, we never really had that much kind of interaction with him up until now. So he's always been that kind of character sort of in the wings.
Yeah, he's been lurking in the background.
Yeah, we've had much more kind of back and forth with Lagertha and Einar.
Yes.
Because of the friction between the two of them.
Yeah. Wasn't Sigvard his uncle?
Yes,
if I remember correctly.
Yep, Sigvard was Einar's uncle. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he assumed incorrectly that once Sigvard was out of the way, that he was next in line to be Earl with Lagertha. And she has to change his mind on that.
It's like, change my mind. Okay. Those two talking about going to Wessex, she asks him to go and he says no. Which I was like, what are you up to?
Yes.
He's already shady as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, he's too, at least in that scene, he's too kind of earnest, he's too kind of humble.
Yeah, and too helpful.
Yeah. It's like he can't wait to get her out the door.
But she turns around and she's trusting him and says, good, okay, then I need somebody that I can trust to look after my territories and all of my stuff. And that Koff has earned her trust. And I'm like, nuh-uh.
Yes. See, Koff seems to be quite a clever character. He's playing the long game, apparently, even though we haven't really had anything to do with him just yet. Obviously, in the story, he's made himself almost indispensable to Lagertha.
Yes. Which, I don't trust him. Sorry. And she at one point, Lagertha asks Koff why he never asked for her hand in marriage. And Koff just explains that, the people of Hedeby might assume that he had greater ambition, and that would not do either of them any good. And I'm like, bullshit! I call bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Okay.
So much bullshit.
So much bullshit. My bullshit meter is like buried. The needle is just nope.
But he says to her, I've got nothing to offer you other than a good head, which kind of made me laugh. And she's like, I'll be the judge of that.
But he still manages to eke in that little bit Kolf does of Einar just absolutely hating her. And she's kind of like, okay, interesting.
It's not really news, but okay.
But okay.
Put a pin in that.
I'll sit with that. Put a pin in it. We're fine. So, but we cut back to Kattegat. Porin is dreaming of going to England. Bjorn is not having it. And she's just like, but I've been training. I've been even training with Largatha, your mom. But Bjorn kind of sees a little bit through her and is like, I have a feeling you're already pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, but nope. Porin is going.
Yep, she's going to do it anyway. And poor Bjorn's a little bit frustrated with this, but there isn't really anything he can do about it.
Yeah. And the next scene coming up is a cute one with Ragnar playing with the boys.
Oh.
It was so cute. Gonna get you, little piggies. I'm gonna cook you.
I love the bit where he's running after them and he's got the staff. And he purposely runs into the door and almost flips the top over this staff. And they all laugh. I was like, that was so cute.
Oh, they were having such a great time. It's just playing and running and carrying on. And all of a sudden, Aslog enters carrying Ivar.
Mm-hmm.
Which everybody just all of a sudden is just like, okay, we're done playing. But Ragnar asks about Ivar. And she says he kind of is what he is.
Yes, and he says it really coldly as well. He doesn't even call his son by his name. He says, how is boneless?
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
yeah.
Don't be like that.
Like, that wasn't cool. And she makes a point of saying Ivar.
Mm-hmm.
He is what he is. Ragnar insists that he loves his sons, of course. And you can tell how much he loves his kids. He just adores all those boys. Even Bjorn, who's grown. You know, But Aslog being Aslog, she's got to be a wet blanket on everything. And it's just, whoa. Reality check.
I couldn't decide whether she's having regrets about not kind of doing the mercy killing with Ivar, or whether she's just being very, very stubborn. I mean, she obviously loves her son very much, but I think reality is now hitting into her as he's getting bigger.
Yes.
Just how much he is disabled.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how they did it, but you can see her holding it, and you can see the baby's little twisted legs.
Yeah.
Coming out of the blanket.
Yeah.
And it's just a really sweet but very, very sad state of affairs.
Yeah. Agreed. It was very sad. Because here you have this disabled child. You, like you said, you had a time where you could have dealt with this matter the Viking way, which was to put the child out.
Mm-hmm.
But she refused to do it. But yeah, is she regretting that choice now?
Mm-hmm.
But she seems to not.
No. I think she just really wishes that Ragnar would kind of come around to the idea that this is his son. And I think he when he says he loves his boys, he does mean all of them.
Yes.
But he's so afraid of what Ivar's life is going to be like, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, how is Ivar going to be accepted? How's he going to be part of the Viking community? What's going to be his contribution later on? Is he just going to be kind of a drain a little bit on the Kettiket society? And we find out later, spoiler alert, not so much.
But what we didn't talk about is Floki is also in the family way.
Yes. They have their little girl.
Oh, she's so cute.
Oh, she's adorable. And they have this great scene where he's just lying there and he's giggling, watching her. And Helga's happy and he's happy. And he's like, but I'm too happy. I feel I remember him saying, I feel trapped in all this happiness. And I'm like, Floki, dude, the fuck?
Even Helga's just incredulous. She's like, what? How can you be too happy? Just
exactly. she's like, if you want to leave, then leave. And if you're too reasonable, Helga.
It's like Floki's trying to find stuff to fight about, but she won't
Yeah.
rise to it.
You should be angry with me. And I'm like, I am angry with you. But that doesn't help. And Floki suggests that he might die, of course, in Wessex.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, no, you're not. Let's not get stupid.
Yeah, don't talk nonsense.
Yeah, but I love that he finally gets down off of his little perch and is like, "You're so horribly good, Helga," and just walks off.
He does it. It's like a 4-year-old. He has a bit of a tantrum and just leaves, and Helga just stood there looking at him. It's like, the hell? What is
Yeah,
going on?
Helga's just like, "Where the hell are you going?" I'm like, oh my god, that was the weirdest exchange, but it was funny and it was sad at the same time because he's just like, he doesn't know what to do with this happiness.
No.
That families aren't supposed to be happy, and I think that he even says, families aren't supposed to be happy. Name me one family who's happy, and Helga responds, Ragnar's, and he's like, which one?
Damn.
Okay, burn. You got him on that one.
However, there was a little scene where Ragnar was looking happy, which did also make me laugh. He's in bed with both Aslog and Lagertha, looking like the cat that just got the cream, which did make me smile. That happened.
Okay.
But it was only a very small scene, but it did make me smile. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I see you.
Okay. Looking at you, Ragnar. Looking good there, boss. Okay. Anyway, back in Ragnar's humble abode, poor Aslog is trying to comfort Ivar, who's constantly crying. God's bless him. And Aslog questions whether or not he really cares if Ivar is suffering or not. And Ragnar, being Ragnar, and he does love his sons, professes that he does love his son, despite what's going on with his legs, with being boneless, so to speak. And Aslog challenges him even further. And I loved the look on Travis Fimmel's face when she asks, "Do you love me?" And he's just kind of like, gulp.
Time to make a sharp exit.
Shit. Gotta go.
Gotta go.
Off we go to
raiding.
Wessex. Must bug out now. And they kind of cut the scene and he's completely silent. So it leaves you wondering, it's like, does he really? And I remember him saying earlier that he's only ever loved Lagertha.
Yes, and I think Aslog can see that, because you can see as the episode goes on, there's kind of little snippets of scenes between them as they're getting ready to go to Wessex, and Aslog's there in the background just giving him the stink eye.
Yep.
It's like,
and they talk about taking their problems with them. Which is something Bjorn says. Is Floki's like freaking out. He's like, "Yes, we're out of here. All right, Rollo, you have no idea how anxious I am to get the hell out of here."
Floki's ready to start running.
Party. and Bjorn says, "Some of us have to take our problems with us." And they cut to Porin, and it's like, "Oh shit, I forgot."
Yeah,
she's really insistent.
Porin's had a bit of a makeover.
Oh yeah, big time. She's a badass.
She's
Viking
looking
girl
every
now.
bit the Shield Maiden there.
Absolutely. And she shaved half her head. It's like, all right, cool, not so bad. But we also know that she's probably pregnant. I mean, she kind of gives that impression. I think there's even an exchange where Bjorn says to her, if you go, and you die, then I lose both of you. And that almost sells her, but she's like, yeah, I don't care.
Doing it anyway.
Doing it anyway. Going for it. Suck it. Finally, the Vikings arrive back in Wessex, and King Egbert informs Ragnar that to receive their promised land, the Vikings must fight for Princess Quinthrith. Oh, scary bitch. Yeah. To appease the nobles.
Yeah, I don't think that was in the contracts, if I remember correctly.
No, and I think even Ragnar says that was not part of the deal.
Yeah. There goes King Egbert moving the goalpost again.
Mm-hmm. As he always does. But Largitha joins in. She's even a little bit skeptical. And King Egbert offers Largitha the job of leading the Viking settlers in Wessex. So kind of to be a little bit of a queen in her own right as part of this settlement.
Because she's got much more land now. I mean, was it 5,000 acres they were initially offered? But that was going to be split between 3 of them. So
Yeah. And the warriors go off and fight. And I'm like, that was kind of shallow.
Little bit, yeah.
But, we get some good battle scenes out of this, which are coming up, so can't complain too much.
Yeah.
So that kind of closes out the episode.
Pretty much, yeah. They're off to fight Mercia. It's like, all right, that wasn't on the cards, but there we go.
There we go anyway. You've got these Viking mercenaries that you've hired to go fight for your kingdom, or queendom, as the case may be, and kill her uncle. So that's what we've got to look forward to in the next couple of episodes.
And Colin points out, I thought the original contract did require the Vikings. They did, but not as an army. It was just a few mercenaries.
Yeah. Very true.
So it wasn't going to be an entire army being sent to basically bolster their Egbert's troops. It was just a few kind of berserkers that was going, and they had those originally anyway, because some of them stayed behind to go with Quinthrith. Yes.
Oh, Quinthrith. Every time I see her on screen, my skin just crawls. I'm just like, okay. But we get into that in the next couple of episodes. We do a deep dive with Quinthrith and the Viking mercenaries. So guys, you're going to have to stay tuned. And it's already the top of the hour. I know that because I just saw it in our chat, is supposed to be on Midnight's Edge. So guys, we are going to say goodbye for this Monday morning. We love you all. Thank you for tuning in. We will be back on Monday to do episodes. I know, but episodes 2 and 3.
Okay.
2 and 3 of Vikings. And then, we'll be back on Wednesday morning where we're going to be talking. I'm going to give you guys a little tour of my house that's decorated for the holidays. So,
awesome.
Yeah. Not Christmas. Christmas doesn't count. I got to get through Halloween first. So, guys, we will see you on Wednesday morning, give you a little home tour. And until then, take care of each other. We love you. And thank you to our big spender this morning, Anonymous.
We do. Thank you ever so much, guys. You have a fantastic day. And we will see you Wednesday.
See you Wednesday. Mwah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.